block pick in a sense in the end to kind of force Falcons into a pick that we haven't seen from them very much, the Malrine Sand King. And then the Viper just isn't mid anyway. Now the Viper is going to lane into Lifestealer, which is a tough lane matchup for the Lifestealer. So in turn now, Falcons are going to try to counteract this by sending Lifestealer off lane on Skitter to try to lane dodge and get him into a more favorable matchup into the Void. And then they will have Razor.
Let's see how long that ends up being the case. It's already snaking. He's going to get first blood as Ace will take him home. And that is, I mean, talk to me about the Crystal Maiden, because this hero has not been picked very much. Snaking has played a lot in the past, but
is going to help Lifestealer get off to a decent start. But then at the end of the day, they don't even get to lane together. So, yeah.
At the very least,
it's one of the strongest spells in the entire game, but it does no damage and has a mega long cooldown. So whenever it's not available, your hero is quite weak. And I think that's part of the problem that this hero has had for a long time is, depending on the pacing of the meta, if it's very slow, everybody just gets to farm. Speaking of Amar, Ace
onto Ace.
Cooked.
Uses the Lotus, will fall. Is Boxy doing a good amount of damage to Amar? Looks like he'll get the... Very interested to see if... My assumption is if Liquid gets off to even just being even in the middle.
I think Razor actually does okay against Void later in the game because you're so tanky, you don't necessarily die in a chrono, and you get to make a turnaround play. And Sand King, that's what you're looking for against Void. You need to either have overwhelming damage to kill him, you need to be survivable, or you need to do a lot of damage over time so he can't really...
The distance, and now Crit has to be the one to be a bit careful himself. We'll get to the other side though, and Ace shall survive.
Is he going to try to just not giving protection to the teammate, but for you yourself, I think the math is roughly the same. So it's really rough. And the Faceless Void didn't get to play against Razor, which I think, you know, that would have been a tougher lane for Mickey as well, but...
In your face, aggressive.
Right.
I like it.
Could have gone with boxing too, I guess, but...
Yeah, that's true. That would have been epic at the very least. And Snake King takes the haste. Boxy does get the hoof stomp technique. And for Liquid, I assume that they can't play nearly as aggressive.
Void is just going to be chilling, and he's going to be farming. And like the panel talked about, this is an elimination game in a really important series, so if you feel like you're confident...
A lot of damage on Anisha. He will get the kill. Might cost him his own life, though, as even Ace joins the party with that poison attack. Everybody joined the party in this game number 3.
Damn, that was actually really funny to watch. I think he was trying to hookshot him in his original position on the Void. He all that much, but what do you think about Ace on Viper as a player-hero combination?
It's definitely not his norm.
No, stuns or, you know, utility.
Malrine getting a connection into the hook shot, but a nice push right to keep him some time. No, Mickey dies anyway.
And he's going to lose his tower. This is a pretty important sequence of events.
Hey, there's the blink into the burrow, though, and it's still enough damage, despite using half those pulses on creeps. Still finds the kill.
Only have gone right.
And Crit going for an extremely early blink dagger.
Have a ward right in the middle of the river.
Go for the Manta first.
I think the main upside to playing BKB last game was that you were super eager to just run at the enemy team with Bounty Hunter, and you had an insane curve. This time to avoid.
Oh, we saw the Battle Fury on Mickey, and it's going to be the Manta first. I guess so. I mean, the reverse time walk this game especially good against the static link, right? Because you can take it off essentially with a time walk.
Of contesting it, I like Falcons better because they don't have to commit a big ability to start making things difficult.
Wants the episode. And misses the Burrow Strike, though, is his way out of it. Not going to happen, though. Big kill for Liquid. I'm going to turn this around onto Amar. Gets bashed up. Cogs coming out completely dead. Although Mickey changing targets again. Amar getting a kill in the meantime as the double kill comes out from Ace. Eventually they do find Crit.
And your position is probably better. On the flip side though, Boxy came in to help and actually ended up dying. But the really big thing here is Rage has already been used before he gets chronoed, so then they get to chain it with the Hoodwink stun. And take Skeeter down, no infest. And yeah, this TP out from Crit not gonna work with Bushwhack being off cooldown. Speaking of Nisha, he's about to finish Aghanim's Scepter. 700 to go. Multi-purpose item this game. Obviously, the offensive part with Flame Cloak is great, but also the magic resist against engagement. With Flame Cloak, he would have survived for sure.
Did Malrine have Ags in that last fight?
Yeah. That's why it was lethal.
Doesn't look like a connection will be, unless they go to the south. That's where Ace is living right now. They will not redirect for the ton of damage to the static link. Here comes the Chrono. The epicenter is right on top of Mickey. Has the time lock away though. Amar extremely low, trying to get the kill, but the bushwhack isn't enough to kill him off. So first death for Falcon.
It could not have been better. It ends up happening just as Malrine is blinking in for a blink burrow strike stun. So his entire epicenter gets completely wasted. Look at how much damage. Sand King did 2k. It all got mitigated. He just time walked it off.
Yeah.
So they just ran out of... Obviously 110 damage is not 110 damage on Lina. It's 110 plus 64% from the slow burn.
Will she get a catalyst later?
Oh,
Standing game number 3 thus far. His bushwhacks is pretty much spot on every time.
This just seems like a really good pick for Liquid.
Falcons 3 for nothing as the hoof stop just barely misses.
Playing tight together, they're getting all the spell combos that they want. Falcons kind of just going one by one there. Lifestealer is already dead.
They're ganks. They've been trying to get him really active with the infest bombs, and a lot of them, until now, have come up empty.
Yep.
So he's basically mostly...
Actually, yeah. I think this needs some love, or it needs to just work there always. And then you do a percentage of that creep's damage around yourself, which makes it, you know, depending on what creep you infest, that's...
With the consumed Ags, you have Shard, you have Moon Shard, you have Buyback.
And you've given Shard to all your teammates.
That's right. Chronosphere only onto 1. They find the Clockwork. Can they get the bash? They don't even need it. The Bushwhack is there, and the kill onto Lifestealer is there.
Battery Assault ticks, so he didn't want to waste his rage. Or he was trying to time it perfectly on a Light Strike Array cast or whatever to get maximum value, but whatever it is, that was a total disaster. That Lina...
Tree line. Oh, 7k lead for Liquid. 30 seconds on the Aegis. Yeah, that was a big moment.
That's actually a bit hard to get over that. That's really...
MKB looks to be next for Mickey. As the Aegis will expire. More towers for Falcons. As a Basher now picked up from, I mean, both Skeeter and Malrine have one.
And yet he's topping his team.
Feels very low. Back inside of a teammate.
Groups them out.
Frostbite.
Yeah, when Faceless 4 out of 5 games at least.
Yeah, when
the gap is this big and it's good matchups, then yeah.
You get Refresher.
Among carries, this is the carry that suffered the least from not being able to refresh BKB, because you don't need the second BKB nearly as much when the entire enemy team is stunned. I think the hero that probably suffered the absolute most from that change might have been Sven, S tier in his build, and he will be getting it at some point.
Do you go the backtrack chance for 25? How much do they even have to dump in the Chronosphere? I haven't really talked about that aspect too much.
Sharpshooter, Lina spells, yeah. That
but it does make a little more sense with the Void, though. Crit, he's infested. Nisha. Okay, round number 2. And now Crit getting gone on. Uh-oh, Boxy actually finds the hoof stomp onto the lifesteal. He's going to attempt to TP out, but he gets bushwhacked again. Just punishment after punishment. These lifestealer bombs have not worked out well.
He's going to fly out of the cog. I mean, that was naive to begin with. He has Disc, 3k HP, and it's in the middle of the map with no information.
He's going to force out the BKB, so Amar scurry back to base. They haven't gotten the tier 2 yet in that bot lane.
You here, Mickey cracks 25. He didn't use Chrono on the Razor there. Probably would have got the kill, but is saving it for a more important upcoming moment. Just in a very good spot now.
Yep, Roche is up, so you can fit when it comes back online, I suppose, and hope for the best.
Yeah, what are they missing? Do they have any shards except Void? No. So it's a 50-50.
He wouldn't.
Can't even get it,
yeah,
no.
He can't
It'll
get
be
it.
Centaur or Hoodwink, yeah. Lifestealer is not where it needs to be able to match up. So if Razor doesn't hit very hard, I think you're effectively just not really going to win it. A massive epicenter. And Malrine does have an Abyssal. So this looks weird if you haven't played Dota for a while. Get some value out of this. Also might see Daedalus later. Same things go for that too.
Alright, well Falcons know that this is happening. If it wasn't the Rock 3.
This has to work.
Yes.
It just has to work.
You can see Nisha and Malrine. Don't have vision up here. Nisha's gonna pop the smoke. Gonna get used his LSA, just trying to delay as much as possible. As Roche is still being taken. Getting relatively low. Amar's gonna go for the static link, but the Stampede immediately counteracts it. Green, infested still, looking for an opening. Out comes Skeeter, not doing that much damage. All of it's mitigated as BK gets the Chronosphere now. Do the balls in the end. Skeeter trying to kill off Nisha, but again, the high ground potential going the favor of Lina again, as Amar with a BKB attempting to TP is...
So Falcons just couldn't get into that fight, and now they might even Amar. There's no connection here. Nobody can get there in time.
Dagon, LSA to follow into the hoof stomp. So many stuns for days. Amar dead, 80 seconds. Ace not even needing Shard here. As the Dagons will continue to rain on Nisha.
At the moment we said this wasn't gonna be a stomp, it's been completely one-sided ever since. Liquid victory. And that's 2 full lanes. You still have Aegis, you have Chrono, and
not taking the right damage. We'll pop the BKB. There's the buyback now. Epicenter onto the sideline, not doing that much damage in the end, though. It's Amar desperately trying to catch up to somebody, but the Stampede gives them all the move speed in the world, and they have still that second life on the Faceless Void. Another bushwhack for the road as Amar takes a tumble, and there's the Chrono onto 2. They get the kill onto Malrine. No buyback to come now. The bash, but again, Nisha has the Eon. They're just going to call it GG. Falcons have been eliminated from TI. Liquid move on.
Pretty clear in this third game. It looked quite even at times, but